Every single day, over 800 crashes happen in the US because of brake failure. That's hundreds of people suddenly realizing the pedal under their foot doesn't respond, not because their car was old or their parts were bad, but because of tiny driving habits they didn't even know were killing their brakes. Most people think brake failure happens to someone else, that it's caused by rust, bad luck, or skipped maintenance. But the truth is, most failures start months before anything feels wrong. They start with small, hidden mistakes you make every single day without realizing it. Today, we're going to expose those mistakes and show you exactly what to do instead. Because doing this will make your brakes not only work better, but also last longer. And stick around until the end. There's a bonus trick most repair shops never tell you about, because it can literally cut their business in half. Let's dive in. It's called riding the brake pedal, and it's one of the most expensive habits drivers don't realize they have. When you drive with both feet, one on the gas, one hovering over the brake, you're basically confusing your car's brain. Your pads drag ever so slightly, your rotors stay hot, and your ABS sensors start getting bad signals. The car thinks you're stopping, even when you're not. That constant, tiny friction, it's like rubbing sandpaper across your rotors for hours at a time. You won't notice it right away, but after a few weeks, the pads start thinning fast. Your gas mileage drops, your rotors warp, and your brake response turns sluggish. So what's the fix? Easy. Retrain your muscle memory. If you're driving an automatic, keep your left foot completely off the pedals. Use your right foot for both gas and brake. Practice in an empty parking lot if you have to. Move your right foot back and forth, not side to side, and hover over the brake instead of resting on it. If your brakes smell hot after normal driving or your pads wear out in under 20,000 miles, you're probably guilty of this. Stop now, or you'll be buying new rotors long before you need to. And here's the crazy part. That habit is bad, but the next one? It's even worse. It's something nearly everyone does, and it turns every red light into a blast furnace for your brake rotors. Heat is the #1 enemy of every braking system. And every time you slam your foot on the pedal, you're building more of it than you realize. Hard braking, those sudden, harsh stops we make out of habit, can double your wear rate. Pads glaze, rotors warp, and the fluid inside the line starts to boil. That boiling fluid doesn't compress properly, which means your pedal feels spongy, your stopping distance grows, and the entire system starts breaking down from within. The fix? Stop smart. Look further ahead than just the car in front of you. See brake lights in the distance? Ease off the gas early. Coast. Apply steady pressure instead of a last-second stomp. On highways, lifting off the gas just 2 seconds earlier can cool your rotors by over 100 degrees. In city driving, leaving a little more space gives you time to slow down smoothly, saving your pads and fuel at the same time. If your steering wheel shakes when you brake or you hear scraping after a few hard stops, you've already overheated your system. Don't ignore it. That vibration is your car begging for mercy. But here's the twist. Sometimes, the problem isn't heat from the outside. It's what's happening inside your brake lines, something you can't see, but it slowly kills your brakes from within. Most drivers have never flushed their brake fluid, ever, and that's a huge mistake. Brake fluid is hygroscopic. It absorbs moisture from the air. Even sealed inside your brake lines, tiny amounts of water find their way in through rubber hoses and caps. Over time, that water lowers the fluid's boiling point. So when you brake hard or drive down a steep hill, the heat turns that water into steam. Steam compresses, unlike fluid. Suddenly, your pedal sinks to the floor and your car doesn't stop. I've seen this happen firsthand on long mountain grades. Perfectly good cars lose braking power because the fluid boiled. To prevent this, flush your fluid every 1 to 2 years. Fresh brake fluid should be light amber or clear. If it's dark brown or black, you're way overdue. Use only the DOT type stamped on your brake cap. DOT 3, 4, or 5.1. Never mix them. And when you're refilling, always use new, sealed bottles. Brake fluid that's been open even for a few weeks can already be contaminated with moisture. Flushing is easy. Start from the wheel farthest from the master cylinder. Attach a clear hose to the bleeder screw. Have a helper pump the pedal and bleed until the fluid runs clear. Never let the reservoir run dry. Old fluid kills your brakes silently, but even with perfect fluid, you're still not safe if you overheat them downhill. It's one of the oldest tricks in driving, and most people have completely forgotten it. Engine braking. When you're going down a long hill and you keep your foot on the brake, your pads glow red, your rotors warp, and your fluid boils. That's how drivers lose brakes on mountain passes. The correct move? Downshift before the hill. In an automatic, switch to 3, 2, or L. In a manual, choose a gear that keeps your RPM steady without redlining. The engine itself slows the car down. No friction, no overheating. If you're towing, shift earlier and keep speeds lower. The heavier the load, the faster your brakes will cook. And if you ever smell burning pads halfway down, pull over and let things cool. This simple habit can double the life of your rotors, and it's completely free. But brakes don't work alone. There's another part of your car that decides how fast you actually stop. And most drivers forget to check it until it's too late. Your tires are the only part of your car that touches the road. So if they're off, everything else suffers, including your brakes. When your tire pressure is too low, your stopping distance can increase by up to 15 feet. That's the difference between stopping safely and rear-ending the car ahead of you. Soft tires also make your ABS useless. Instead of gripping, your tires slide. You lose traction, steering, and confidence. To fix it, check the recommended PSI on the sticker inside your driver's door, not the number printed on the tire. Use a reliable digital gauge and always check when the tires are cold. Heat inflates the air and gives false readings. If the edges of your tread wear faster than the center, you're running low. If the center wears faster, you're too high. Check at least once a month, especially before road trips. The bottom line? Brakes can only do their job if the tires can grab the ground. But what if the problem isn't the air in your tires? It's the stuff in your trunk. Every extra 100 pounds in your car adds measurable stopping distance. And yet, most people drive around every day with hundreds of unnecessary pounds. Tools, luggage, junk in the trunk. Brakes are engineered for your vehicle's weight from the factory. Overload it, and your rotors have to absorb far more heat. Pads glaze, fluid boils, and stopping distances skyrocket. Before long trips, check the sticker inside your driver's door for the GVR, Gross Vehicle Weight Rating. That's the maximum your car can handle, including passengers and cargo. If your rear end is sagging or your tires look squished, you're over the limit. Even towing adds weight. 10 to 15% of your trailer's tongue weight counts toward your G. Distribute cargo evenly and keep heavy items low. If your vehicle rides unevenly, you're stressing your brakes every mile. Too many drivers ignore this until they see smoke rolling off the wheels. But even if your load is perfect, your pads can still self-destruct if you wait too long to change them. Letting your brake pads wear down to metal is like running shoes until your feet hit the pavement. Once the friction material is gone, the metal backing plate digs directly into the rotor. That means grooves, heat cracks, and even locked wheels. A $150 pad replacement suddenly becomes a $600 rotor overhaul. Check your pads regularly. Look through the wheel spokes. New pads are about 10 to 12 millimeters thick. Once you're down to 3 millimeters, it's time to replace. If you hear squealing, that's your built-in warning tab scraping the rotor. Grinding, that means you're already metal on metal. Always replace pads in axle sets, both fronts or both rears, to keep braking balanced. If you ignore uneven wear, you'll get pulling, vibration, and faster rotor damage. But even fresh pads can fail early if the rest of your braking system is filthy. And most drivers have no idea what's hiding behind their wheels. Brake dust looks harmless, but it's deadly. It's ground-up pad material that clings to every surface of your caliper and rotor, holding moisture and heat. Over time, that mix turns corrosive, eating away at slides, clips, and pistons. Every pad change, or at least once a year, clean your brakes. Jack up the car, remove the wheel, and spray a proper brake cleaner on all exposed hardware. Use a nylon or brass brush to loosen debris and wipe it all away. Never use compressed air. That dust is toxic to inhale. Wear gloves and a mask. Check your caliper pins and rubber boots. If they're torn or sticky, clean and re-grease them with high-temperature brake lubricant. Cleaning your brakes keeps everything moving smoothly. But it's not enough if you reuse old or broken hardware. A $2 clip can ruin a $200 pad set if it fails. Brake hardware, slide pins, anti-rattle clips, abutment plates, and shims all keep your pads moving evenly. If those parts seize or corrode, your pads drag on one side, creating uneven wear and warped rotors. Anytime you change pads, inspect the hardware. Replace torn boots, cracked shims, or rusted clips. The best pad kits include new hardware. Use it. If your car pulls to one side, makes clunking sounds, or shows one pad wearing faster than its twin, it's probably hardware. And here's the rule: refresh your hardware every single pad job. Don't cheap out. It's the cheapest insurance you'll ever buy. But even the best hardware won't save you if you use junk pads. And that's exactly where most people go wrong next. Brake pads are the heart of your system. And yet, they're the part most drivers try to save money on. Big mistake. Cheap pads fade fast under heat, glaze over, and leave you with no stopping power. They might look fine at first, but after one trip down a mountain road, they're smoking. OEM pads are designed for your vehicle's specific brake balance. Aftermarket quality pads, like Akabono Ceramics for Toyotas, Motorcraft Semi-Metallics for Ford trucks, or Techstar and Jurid for European cars, give consistent bite and lifespan. Match your pad to your driving style. Ceramic pads last long and stay quiet, perfect for commuters. Semi-metallic pads handle heat better, ideal for towing or sporty driving. Organic pads are budget-friendly but wear out quickly. If your brakes squeal constantly, fade under normal stops, or wear out in 15,000 miles or less, you've been sold junk. Replace them before they ruin your rotors. And once you've installed the right pads, don't hit the road just yet. There's one step left that almost everyone skips, and it's the reason brand new brakes often fail early. Every new pad and rotor needs to form a relationship, literally. It's called the transfer layer, and it's what makes your brakes smooth and powerful. When pads press against new rotors, a microscopic layer of pad material transfers to the rotor face. That's what gives you consistent friction. If you skip the break-in process, the layer forms unevenly, creating hot spots, vibration, and squealing. To bed your brakes properly, find a quiet road. From 30 miles per hour, make 3 medium stops down to 5 miles per hour. Don't come to a complete stop. Then, from 45 miles per hour, do 8 to 10 harder stops down to 10 miles per hour. Again, without holding the car still. Drive between stops to let them cool. You'll smell the pads heating. That's normal. Afterward, you'll see a light gray film on the rotors. That's the perfect transfer layer. If you don't do this, you'll end up with pulsing pedals, shaking wheels, and pads that wear unevenly. But even perfectly bedded brakes still need regular checkups. That's where the next hack comes in. Brakes rarely fail suddenly. They warn you first, through noise, vibration, and subtle signs. The problem is, most drivers ignore those warnings until it's too late. Get your brakes inspected twice a year, once before winter, once before summer. A proper inspection checks pad thickness, rotor runout, caliper piston movement, brake lines, hoses, and parking brake function. Good mechanics will also road test your car, feeling for pulling or pulsation. If you live where roads get salted, corrosion eats through brake lines faster than you think. A $30 inspection can prevent a $600 repair. But even inspections won't save you if your daily driving habits keep abusing the brakes. And that's why the final hack is the most powerful one of all. You can double your brake life simply by using them half as much. That doesn't mean driving slower. It means driving smarter. Look 2 or 3 cars ahead, not just the one in front of you. Anticipate red lights and slowdowns. Ease off the gas early and let your car coast. Keep a safe following distance so you don't have to slam on the brakes constantly. Smooth driving saves pads, rotors, and even fuel. I've seen careful drivers go 70,000 miles on one set of pads, while others burn through theirs in under 20,000. All because of habit. Every time you ride the pedal downhill, tailgate, or panic stop at a light, you're burning money and metal. So start paying attention. Train yourself to coast, to anticipate, to drive like your brakes are your last resort, not your first reflex. Because when you do that, your car lasts longer, your wallet stays fuller, and every drive feels smoother and safer. Let's recap. Stop driving with 2 feet. Avoid panic stops. Flush your fluid regularly. Use engine braking on long descents. Keep your tires inflated and your car light. Replace pads before they're gone. Clean your hardware. Buy quality pads. Bed them in. Inspect often. And most importantly, drive smart. Take care of your brakes, and they'll take care of you.